Water covers around 71% of the Earth's surface. Of that, 97.5% is saltwater. The remaining 2.5% is freshwater. However, 78% of that freshwater is trapped in ice caps and in glaciers. The rest is in groundwater, rivers, lakes, and the atmosphere. Therefore, only around 0.53% of the entire Earth's water is available to plants, animals, and to humans. Humans need around 10 liters of water a day for survival, but humans also use water for things like cooking and washing, agriculture and manufacturing, mining and energy production, and waste disposal. Water availability is not consistent around the world, and lack of available fresh water can lead to water scarcity. In areas where water is scarce, the poor could be paying more than 20% of their income on water alone. Most of the fresh water that humans and ecosystems use come from two sources: surface water and groundwater. Surface water is formed by rain that does not seep into the soil. Instead, it runs off along watersheds into streams and rivers. Groundwater is the water that seeps into soil and rocks, filling large underground lakes called aquifers. There are three major issues with water that humans cause and must deal with. The first is too much water. Flooding happens naturally when a lot of rain falls in a short period of time. Streams and rivers have surrounding floodplains that capture and absorb this floodwater. However, many cities and towns are built on floodplains, and impervious surface replaces porous soil. This leads to two big issues. One, floodplains flood periodically, and houses and businesses in the floodplain are vulnerable to this flooding. Two, rain does not seep into impervious surface. Therefore, more water enters streams and rivers and makes flooding more prevalent. These two issues make living in a floodplain really dangerous. To mitigate this risk, many towns and cities have channelized their rivers and built earthen levees to hold back floodwater. This generally works, but the riverine habitat is disturbed, and the channel can focus the energy of floodwaters, making floods downstream more intense and more dangerous. A better solution would be for households to relocate outside of the floodplain and the river allowed to move in its natural course. The second major issue with water is too little water. Arid land is naturally dry, and water scarcity is an important consideration in day-to-day life. However, droughts can also reduce water availability in areas that typically receive plenty of water. Overuse of water supplies and the diversion of water can also impact water availability. Overdrawing of water for agricultural irrigation can quickly deplete aquifers, causing soil subsidence and sinkholes. The damming and diversion of water from rivers can also impact water availability for those downstream of those diversions. For example, the damming and diverting of the Colorado River for hydroelectric power and drinking water for Nevada and California has reduced the river's flow into the Gulf of California down to zero. Climate change has intensified both flooding and drought, and has changed the distribution of precipitation throughout the world. Less snowfall and melting glaciers can impact long-term water storage, and sea level rise can increase saltwater intrusion, risking drinking water supplies in coastal areas. The third issue with water is pollution, which we will discuss in the next video.